Welcome to the Town of Naples Budget Committee meeting, 6:02 on January 15th. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Jim Gertello is dialed in.
Okay, roll call tonight. Steve Merkel.
Here.
Steve Hoyt.
Here.
Samantha Hayes.
Here.
Colin Brackett, Zoom.
Yes, sir.
Jim Gertello, Zoom.
Yep.
Bob Karen's here, and from the town tonight, Jason Rogers and Patricia Crisco. Again, thank you. Entertain a motion to approve the meeting minutes from Wednesday, January 8th.
Make a motion as accepted.
Second.
Motion and second. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? Aye. Jim and Colin?
Aye.
I abstain. Mr. Chair, I
Five.
would like to remind, in accordance with the remote participation, you do have to take a roll call vote to account for those that are participating remotely.
Okay. So Colin Brackett said he abstained,
Okay.
and Jim Gertello, I did ask him, and he said yes, aye.
Thank you.
Aye. Aye. Yep.
Aye, aye, thank you.
Aye, aye, aye.
Aye, aye, aye. Okay. Gonna move into old business here. So we had you wanna make
Yep.
your part first, then we'll talk about the outside agencies.
Okay, so at last week's meeting, I had received a letter from Crosswalk Community Outreach from their president, Joanna Moore, requesting that a letter be read. I did give a copy of the letter to each board member, but I was remiss in not reading the letter. Joanna Moore, as well as three other members of her organization, did show up at the select board meeting yesterday and described their contributions to the community. The most significant highlight that she wanted to point out was that Crosswalk is not asking for funds this year as part of the budget process, as they don't want to create an additional tax burden for residents. They want to really promote community within the town of Naples, and we support their mission, their continued efforts to support residents of Naples and neighboring communities.
Very nice.
There will be an opportunity when we get to the public hearing portion of the budget process, where if I'll reach out to Joanna Moore and ask her if she'd like to come and speak for a couple minutes at that portion of the process.
Perfect, that's great, super. Any comments on it, everyone good?
No, we're good, thank you.
Guys good with that?
Yep.
Okay, all right, moving on, under old business, letter A. So this is, provide information as to how much other town contribute to outside organizations.
So Samantha Hayes, board member, she did some research over the past week and provided that research to the budget committee members just for information when they are considering each budget request, to get an idea of how much neighboring towns are giving to their community groups and outside organizations.
Perfect, great. Do you guys get that too, the email from Samantha?
Absolutely. I thought it was extremely eye-opening. I was quite surprised at how little our surrounding towns give to several organizations. And I think behind the scenes, they're using the same methodology that Samantha was bringing up. Some of these organizations are multi-million dollar organizations with huge payrolls, and our surrounding towns have decided that they'd rather spend the money locally. So this was great information.
It was very nice that she did the legwork and got that information for us. Thank you very much.
Yeah, anytime.
So a couple things a little outside the norm. Some of our applications for funding from the towns went to spam folders before, so they didn't get notifications when they had to be in, and some didn't even get the notification that last week we were going to be discussing it. So I asked Jason to approve for the library, the Lake Region Explorer, Lake Region Senior Services, and
We also have Naples Food
Naples Food Pantry. Excuse me, Connor Endora just walked in.
Yeah.
So I asked them if they wanted to come tonight before we started reviewing, the town's budget request, if they want to say something to the group, and I just want to make sure everyone's okay with that.
Mr. Chair, I'm sorry, we also had late submissions from Muddy River Snow Seekers. Theirs have gone to junk mail or spam, as well as the American Legion.
And American Legion. Yep.
I will note that neither of those organizations are asking for more than they requested in previous years.
Okay. Perfect. So is everyone good with listening to it if they want to get up and speak?
Sure.
I think it's an important thing to do, and we'll have to find a way next year, hopefully, to eliminate the spam or send some notification. I was talking to Jason to let these groups know ahead of time that these forms will be available on X, just in case the spam happens again, which hopefully it does not, but you never know with emails. So moving on, I know that, let's see, we got Lake Region Explorers on Zoom, if I see correctly. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. It's Mr. Don Libby.
Mr. Don, if you want to go ahead and say something for the Explorer Fund?
Absolutely. Good evening.
Good evening, Don.
And just for the record, I was here last week. I just couldn't get in the room, so, for whatever reason, the Zoom wasn't working. So, first things first, I'm gonna touch on our social services program, because that's not a major ask. So, that's for regional transportation. That's our paratransit service that, handles medical appointments and all other things in your community and Cumberland County. That's a minimal request. It's, we asked to go up $100 for each town this year. So we tried to keep that down. So it's going from $1,500 to $1,600. I don't know if there's any questions on that, but that's pretty minimal.
It'd be tab 11.
What's that?
No, I was just letting the budget committee know which tab it was in their binders.
Yeah, okay.
Tab 11. Yep. Okay. So $1,500 is just the increase that you're asking for, and it's actually $1,600 for this year.
Yeah,
It's been
that's-
$1,500 since 2022.
Correct.
Yep.
Correct.
Okay.
And then I'll touch on Lakes Region Explorer. Lakes Region Explorer, as you know, is the community commuter shuttle, if you will, that operates out of Bridgeton, goes all the way into Portland. We do 4 round trips a day. We stop in all the towns that participate in the program. We stop in Bridgeton, Naples, Casco, obviously, and Wyndham, and then continue on into Portland. The one town we do not stop in because they stopped participating in the program was Raymond. We kind of breeze right through the town there. We are asking for $12,000 from the $10,000. I foresee this as being the common request for the next 3 or 4 years. Ridership's up. We have brand new buses coming. We have 2 brand new ones that should be here in the next 3 months. They're on order. They should be ready in the next 3 months to be part of the program. And once those come in, we are looking at adding an extra run in the morning to facilitate more commuters. Right now, it's a 6 a.m. shuttle that runs out of Bridgeton. And if you miss that, then you got to wait for I think it's the 9:30 or something to come back. And that doesn't help anybody to get to Portland in the morning. So we're going to do a 6 a.m. and probably like a 7:30 ride, so people can, if they miss one, they can get on the other one. They still make it to work. They don't have to parking, all that stuff. The other thing is we are also becoming part of the Dorrigo bus pass system with the Metro. So we will have a way to pay electronically, buy passes electronically. If they are using the Metro in downtown Portland, you have one pass, not have to carry cash. And it's a pretty slick system, so we'll be part of that. And obviously, as you know, we use the money to accumulate our local match, to keep the service going and keep buying new buses. That's the goal. So the money goes to right into the service. The service costs, I mean, as you guys all know, I think it's broken down on one of the sheets there, but the service costs us, upwards of over $220,000 a year to run. So.
Do you still have weekend transportation during the summer?
We do. We operate from Memorial Day to Labor Day, and we tried to keep that going through the winter. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense. There's not a whole lot going on Saturdays, but
Yeah,
our anticipation is that would continue during the summer. One thing, I'm the new executive director for RTP. I just got promoted here January 1st. One of the things that we are looking at doing is more frequent trips on that Saturday, trying to figure out a way to get more people. I spent some time in Naples this summer on my motorcycle, hanging out at Rick's, watching everybody come and go, and I said, we need to be doing more transportation here. You guys got a influx of people. We need to be able to get them in and out more frequently, especially on the weekends. So that's something we're going to be looking at doing, whether we run a staggered bus schedule in and out of there, but we want to see it more frequency. If I got to shorten the night and add more trips during the day, that's what we're going to do, because I think it's important for the tourists in that area. We have a lot of people taking that Portland bus into your town and vice versa, going into Portland later. So that's going to be on the agenda.
So, if I understand correctly, there will be summertime transportation on Saturdays?
100%. We run on Saturdays. We never run on Sundays.
Okay, okay.
But let me say this: if it looks like there's going to be an influx of work on Sundays, that's not off the table. I mean, it just hasn't been brought up yet. But Saturdays are an absolute. We're going to do it. Like I said, we start the weekend after Memorial Day. I'm sorry. We will start Memorial Day weekend and we end Labor Day weekend. So that's kind of how it works.
Okay.
And we try to keep that going. Like I said, I spent a lot of time in your town this past summer, and I said, I see our bus coming through there, and I'm like, it's not enough. We need more trips, not less. So.
Yep. All right. Thank you.
Thanks.
Any other questions for Don?
Yeah.
Yep, go ahead, Samantha.
So basically what it looks like what you're doing is you're taking what your debt is and then you're dividing it between the towns evenly.
Correct.
I went back and took a look at Wyndham. It looks like Wyndham isn't giving you your full ask. It looks like they gave you about 8,500 the last few years. It looks like they're maybe increasing it up to 10 this year.
No, I believe Wyndham gave us 10 last year. That was what we had. We didn't have anybody abstain from the 10 grand last year.
But in the past, it's been lower, and I know it's been lower than what Naples has been giving over the last few years. But I'm going to assume that your stops in Wyndham are more than in Naples.
No, we have one stop in Wyndham. It's all on the same route.
So how many residents from Naples are you picking up on that route, on that bus?
We serviced, how many did I service in Naples last year? Naples, total boardings in Naples last year, we had 823 different residents use the service last year. No, that's 2020, that's 2024. So that was the Naples stop boardings. So you could say that they would deboard at the same spot. So probably over 1,600 people.
Do you have those figures for Bridgeton and Casco and Wyndham?
Not with me, no.
And you still park a bus up here, right? At the Legion?
At the Legion, yep.
Okay. Out of the 823 residents for that last year, do you know how much it was for the total? I'm sorry if you gave me this information. I don't have the sheet in front of me, but.
How much it was for the total?
Yeah, like what the debt service was for the Naples residents at 823?
823, I'm sorry, I don't understand the question.
You said you serviced 823 residents for pickup?
Correct.
Do you know how much of your debt is for that 823 people?
How much of my what is?
Your debt?
I'm sorry, my debt?
Right.
I mean, I think we charge $3 a ride. I mean, it's really minimal, I mean, for your residents, I mean,
I'm just trying to make sure that the town is paying what they should be paying for their portion of their residents. So if you have 3,000 or 4,000 people in Wyndham and they have a much larger budget than we do, then I'm just trying to make sure that we shouldn't be paying the same amount that Wyndham should be paying. like you should be maybe asking Wyndham for more, or Bridgeton for more, or Casco for more.
No,
I just wanna
it
make
doesn't-
sure that
it doesn't
Naples is
work
paying
way,
what
so if
Naples
I-
should be paying for its residents.
It doesn't work that way, and I'll explain why. This is what we ran into before with the town of Raymond. And I believe it was somebody at your town last year asked me, when we went up to the 10 grand, they said, well, what's Raymond paying? Because Raymond was a non-contributor for years. They would tell us they'd give us one thing, and then they would send us $2,000. And finally we said, it's unfair if we start, it's unfair to everybody else. And Wyndham made an issue of it, Bridgeton made an issue of it. They said, if they're not gonna participate at the same level, why are you charging it to us? And I said, you're absolutely right. And we had a conversation with Raymond, and we said we'd shut down the stop. Raymond's responsible is, well, you're driving through here anyway. And we shut down the stop on them. Hopefully they come back around. But I can tell you that their residents were in an uproar when it happened, because a lot of them relied on transportation to get to downtown Portland.
I think, Samantha,
Yeah,
I think we defunded them one year, and then it was brought up at the town meeting for this very reason. I think they finally have listened to the surrounding towns, and we accomplished what we wanted to. I think the question is, are we getting $10,000 worth of participation? And the answer is, we're getting more than that, because his total budget is well over 200,000, and only 4 towns are contributing 10,000. So at the end of the day, we are getting well more than the $10,000 that we're contributing. As long as all the other towns are contributing fairly, I think that's what we need to concentrate on.
okay.
Yeah.
Any other comments for Don? No. Colin, you're all set?
I'm good.
Okay.
I
Don?
appreciate everybody's time.
No, thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on to D, library funding. George Clobber would like to come up and speak.
Thank you. George Clover, the treasurer for the Naples Public Library. I want to just clarify one thing that was said earlier. So we did receive the request for, to put information into you, which we did in December. We just never got a notification of last week's meeting. So I apologize for not being here, but I do thank you for allowing us to be here tonight. So I'm hoping you have the report in front of you. We're happy to answer your questions. I just want to say a couple of things about the library before we open it up for discussion. Besides the typical library services, this is really for the public of what people traditionally think of a library: come in, get a book, and go home. We continue to be an integral part of the town, and in that, currently there is not a designated community center and/or senior center. We kind of fill that need for a number of people in this community. And if you were to go into the library on any given day, there are all kinds of activities that are going on. From youth twice a week, there are song groups, there are I was in there today, there was a painting class going on. So there's just a number of things. Mahjong, bridge clubs that are utilizing the facility. So I think it's important to know that. The newest thing that we are actually partnering with the town, Jason came in and spoke with us this year, is to partner with the town as a heating and cooling center when needed. As long as we're open and we can get open. We've got an emergency generator that when possible and when needed, that becomes another resource for the town to use. So we continue to want to be part of and work with the town as much as we can. Other than that, we have asked for $3,000 more than we did for last year. it really is a matter of, like everybody else, just the cost of operating the library continues to go up, from heating costs to insurance costs and all that. In regards to personnel costs, we have modeled it after the federal government's cost of living and try to do that with our employees. We have 3 full-time employees. We've utilized a part-time person, but we really utilize, and in the report you'll notice, we have a number of volunteers. We could not operate the library without having the volunteers that we have. They work at the front desk, and I'll go further to say our board members are also there constantly, anything from fixing light bulbs that need to be done to vacuuming floors, or whatever needs to be done, we're there to try to do. And the last thing regarding personnel, we have competitive wages for sure, but we have no other benefits. The only benefits that our employees get is their time off. They don't receive any other type of medical benefits or anything like that. They're 30-hour-a-week employees, and that's part of the understanding when they've worked there. There's a lot of information that I have in front of you here. I hope you've had an opportunity to look at it. But you know, we serve probably over 20,000 people coming through the library throughout the year, between youth programs, senior programs, and we serve a big need. And I guess the last thing I'd say in regards to serving the community, we don't have a definite number. We think there's probably anywhere between 25 and 40 businesses that literally operate their business through our library. We have a fax machine which is available, which is not an easy thing to have. Most people cannot fax at home anymore, but they're in there to use our computers. If they have their own, they're coming in with laptops and using our internet. We have copying machines, and our staff are always there to help them to do that. So there's a number of people we see all the time coming in, printing labels or whatever else they need to do, and we try to support them because they can't just do it at home. And the last thing about that is we have a faster internet speed than they can ever do at home, so a lot of them will constantly do that. And when we're not open, you'll often see if you drive by, there's people that are either in the good weather, not today, sitting on the front porch, but in the cold weather, they'll sit in their car because they can get onto the internet at the library. So we think there's a number of resources, and hope that you can consider supporting our request.
I'd like to, Chris Merrill, President of the Board of Trustees. I'd just like to add that we, in an attempt to trim the budget as best we could, we've cut 200 hours off staff hours. We've also eliminated the seasonal staff person we have up in the Children's Library in an effort to try to control the budget as best we could. So we have tried to make cuts whenever we can that don't impact the functioning of the library.
Great. Anyone have any questions for George or Chris? Jim? Hang on 1 second, Jim. Steve does.
I'd just like to say thank you for helping out with the warming and cooling shelter for us.
I think it's important to do that.
I think.
It is.
Jim, go ahead.
To Jason, I would like to have George attend, and whoever else from the library, our January 28th working group on the community center, which we now have called the recreational center. I just learned a lot in the last 5 minutes. I think it's important to understand what the library can offer the senior citizens and the youth. The community center has been voted down twice, and the reason it got voted down twice is these committees have run astray and lost sight of what the goal was. We lost a gym in our town, and the goal was to replace a gym. And then the next thing you know, they want to build a $7.2 million community center. It sounds like the library can contribute quite a bit for the investment that we make to covering the needs of what some of these people thought a community center should be. So I would love you guys to show up on January 28th at 10 a.m. to our working group, because in the last 2 weeks, we have made tremendous progress on redefining what the town actually needed. And it sounds like the library can play a huge role in providing some of the stuff that was thought was needed at a community center, and it could actually be provided right there at the library.
Absolutely.
Yep.
I'll put it onto my agenda, so,
I'll send you an invite as well.
Thank you.
thank you.
Any other comments tonight? George and Chris, thank you very much for
Thank-
showing up.
thank-
Appreciate it.
Thank you for allowing us to come back.
Yep, no, you're welcome.
This was well worth it, I'm telling you right now.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
And, Mr. Chair, just a reminder of, how we've normally done these, if there's not a request for an increase in the previous year, the representatives are not required to attend. So as we go through the other,
So the other three right here that
Yep.
we have in front of us is Mighty River Snow Seekers. They're requesting the same amount as last year of the $2,500. Naples Casco Raymond Memorial American Legion Post, $155. They're requesting $1,000 this year. They requested $1,000 last year. And our Community Resource Council of Naples, Connie Medora right here on town property, also is requesting
$5,000.
$5,000, and they requested $5,000 last year also. So even though she didn't ask for an increase this year, I see Connie in the audience. Would you like to say something, Connie, or are you good?
I'm sorry.
Would you like to say, I mean, you don't have to speak because it's the same dollar amount as you requested last year, but since you're sitting in the audience, I didn't know if you wanted to say something. Come on up, you're more than welcome. This is the, community resource.
Evening, panel.
Good evening.
Thank you for the opportunity to be here, representing the Community Resource Council of Naples. I'm Connie Medura. One of our members, Arlene Stetson, is with me also this evening. We're requesting the amount of $5,000 to help with the programs that the Community Resource Council serves the residents of Naples. We have several programs. We have, primary one is the Naples Food Pantry every Tuesday. We have about 100 families registered. We're seeing anywhere from 30 to 40 of those families weekly. That's up from about 70 registered families last year, and we were seeing about 30 of them weekly. So that's up. We also run the Christmas for Kids program, where the children received several items for Christmas as well as a meal for their families. We have a backpack program to get the kids ready for school. We also have kids packs. So when the kids are on school breaks and the meals aren't ready for them, like in the summertime with the summer program, we give them meal packs to take home the week prior to vacation, so we'll make sure the children have their meals during the school break. I think that's all that I got so far. And the Thanksgiving meals, we do the Thanksgiving meals. And again, you've got the paperwork there that shows Thanksgiving. There was 40 families this year that received Thanksgiving meals. We're remaining with the budget. However, last year we did receive, thankfully, $5,000. We did have an unexpected expenditure of $5,300 to replace a refrigeration unit that we needed. So with that being said, we'd really like to be considered for the $5,000. It will still put us, with our donations, our balances. I've given you the numbers also in the paperwork of our expenditures. And we're still down about $10,000, but we're hoping for more donations from the public. We do rely solely on Naples businesses, our community, civic groups, and individuals to donate monies to us to help us keep our residents that are in need up to date on things. So again, I thank you, and if you have any questions, I'm here.
I had a
Arlene?
couple things.
Arlene?
Right ahead, Arlene.
I just want to make sure everybody at home knows that if there's ever a way to make the world a better place, it's the organization that Connie's just described. And what they do for Naples only is remarkable. There is no CEO. 100% of any penny that comes in goes to help those in need in our community. The people who line up for food, this is for Naples residents only. Now, if you are not a Naples resident, we still give them a box of food, and Connie provides them with other places to go for additional funds that works for their town. There's no federal funding. It's 100% dignity-oriented. It's amazing, and this is the group from Naples that are our unsung heroes. So I humbly ask that you help them in any way that you can. Thank you.
Thank you. 39 years? How long you been doing it, Connie? 39?
We're just going into the 39th year.
And you've been doing it the whole
I
time?
joined back in 94.
94. Great.
Yeah,
Any-
and it is an agency out of the United Methodist Church. It's one of the programs out of there. That's where I started, was through the church. And it's just grown, and it's grown considerably, and I'm proud to be proud of it still.
That's great. That's
So,
great. Any
thank you.
questions tonight for Connie or Arlene?
Thank you very much.
Seeing none, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Hey, Mr. Chair, I got a quick question.
Go ahead, Colin, sorry.
Hey, no, I'm just curious, Connie, or Arlene, if you could tell me, you said meal pickup is on Tuesdays. Is that an entire week's worth of food, or what consists of a box of food generally?
It consists of, I could go around the whole tables and tell you what's on the tables, but if we had to down, like, meals, I bet they could get 5 to 7 meals, probably.
Yeah, and I think what's also so unique about this organization is the volunteers get to know those who are in line. And some families will have 6 people, and some families might have certain dietary needs, or some families have more kids, or somebody loves a certain thing. And so it's a way that, that you can make somebody's day too. So and people have choices of what they're getting. It's not like you're just getting this. So it's very thoughtful.
No, I appreciate that. I'm just trying to understand, I guess, what's going on in town, because it sounds like we've got one organization Monday providing the same exact service, a week's worth of food, and then Tuesday we've got our Naples pantry for Naples residents only providing a week's worth of food. So are people literally picking up 2 weeks of food on a Monday and a Tuesday, or are we just over providing in town with 2 organizations? I'm just trying to wrap my head around it, I guess.
Okay, on Tuesday, 10 to 11:30 is the Naples Food Pantry. We service Naples residents. We do have people come through, like Arlene said, we'll give them some food. They get a grocery list, and then we go through that grocery list with them in the vehicle as a drive-through, and we cross off what they don't want on that grocery list. They move off to the side, the paper goes in, someone shops for them, comes out, it's kind of like calling Hannaford pickup or something. And they bring it out and put it in your trunk. But you get to choose, what your soups are gonna be, what your cereal's gonna be, what you want for fresh produce. It's all chosen what they want. We do the list with them, so it's very personable to each family, what they receive.
And Colin, to your question, I don't know enough about crosswalks on Monday, but my understanding is that you don't have to be from Naples to come to crosswalks on Monday. So it may not be, and it doesn't seem to be, just as a volunteer visually looking, that it's the same people. So you could be from another town and come to them on Monday. But the main thing is that people get in line at 8:30. They get in line an hour and a half ahead, so it is definitely needed, whether or not it's Monday and Tuesday or however many days.
No, I appreciate the answer. I was just trying to get a grasp in my head of what's going on in the makeup of town, and if we're in that dire of a situation, but it sounds great. What you guys do is great, so I appreciate it.
Yeah, at least we know that there's 36 to 40 cars, or I'd say, or
Yeah, weekly.
that are in line on Tuesdays.
And they're all Naples residents.
Yeah.
Occasional exception, but Naples, so yeah.
Great.
Thank you.
Very much, appreciate
Thanks,
that.
Colin.
Mr. Chair, if I could provide a point of clarity, I did receive an email from Lake Region Senior Services. They did close their doors last year, so they will not be asking for any funds this year. And that was something we addressed last week.
Yeah, thank you very much, appreciate that. Okay. Any other old business? Seeing none, we're gonna go right into new business. Review and consider budget requests for a capital improvements plan.
Right. Apologize.
Just gotta get my glasses on. for the screen.
All right, so the capital improvement budget, the slide overview on your screen, on the screens around the room. Capital improvement budget, looking for $103,160. This is down $117,140 from the previous year. No budget increase. Budget decrease was the community center planning. We set aside funds for community center planning. Those funds this year were used in advance of the November vote to determine whether or not the grounds up there on the former Norway property were suitable for the structure that was being proposed. That total came out to just about $15,000 for those surveys. So there is money in there that we carried over into the general fund at the end of the year. Heat pumps, those were removed from this year's budget. Other decreases from last year, cemetery improvements, we did appropriate a significant amount last year to address improving the fencing around the facilities, to install signs, and to do general maintenance in the cemeteries. That is decreased $14,140 from last year. Parks and land use, that went down $25,000. Again, looking at improvements to our parks, that money will be used here this spring. Don't see a need to carry over that same dollar value next year. That's why it decreased by $25,000. Senior center repairs, we appropriated $45,000 last year to account for painting. We need some improvements to our heating system in there. Right now we have a K1 heater, we have 8 window ACs. So right now we're looking at what it's going to cost through both grants and out of town funds to install a heat pump and mini splits. We're still working on those numbers now. And that'll be an overall cost savings in follow-on years as we will not be required to get as much heating oil. Senior center, open spaces and parks. Same thing, those funds will be used here this spring. Don't see a need for as much this next year, so I've decreased that by $13,000. That's the overview, and if you want to go line by line, we can.
Jason, most of the repairs at the senior center done by our staff? The most we can do?
Yes, I had asked for the full amount, anticipating that we would have to outsource, but we were able to hire to our full staff our full staff level, which is 4 people, so we've been able to accomplish a lot of the painting. In fact, in the last couple of weeks, they finished the painting upstairs and in the stairwell. You got to do a little bit more touch-up, but yeah, the maintenance team has done a lot of the work, so with this money's not spent, we'll go back into the general fund here at the end of the year.
Great. Any questions for Jason?
Yeah, the $25,000 for the town office and upkeep, is that different from the $20,000 you're asking in the capital reserves for the town office building repairs?
Yes, so the upkeep is your day-to-day operations. The reserves are if you have a major repair that has to happen, then you tap into the reserves. But the regular budget items, the annual things that happen, that's why there's 2 different numbers.
So you need $25,000 for just the yearly day-to-day stuff?
Yes.
So that's not touching anything that's in the $84,000 for the repairs?
And that number has changed, the $84,000, because we have used some of those funds for some of the improvements that we've had to make. In particular, it was just shy of $5,000 to replace the railing in the back of the post office. We had to go ahead and do a deep cleaning, strip and wax on the floors in the post office. We are going to have to look at improving the vestibule. So those funds that are in that reserve, that's for major improvement items, where the other funds are more for routine maintenance.
Okay.
Go ahead, Jim.
When's the lease of the post office on?
So the lease expires in 2027. And they are on notice that it expires in 2027. And it'll be a determination of the town whether or not they want to renew a lease, and that renewal could include a increase in rent. We do realize that it is a huge convenience having it adjacent to the town offices, so that'll be a decision for a later date.
I just want to go on record as saying that's probably one of the worst decisions and votes I ever made was to increase that lease for that post office. I didn't think that through. The deal they're getting is such a sweetheart deal. In hindsight, I would write you a check for that lease today because I know I could lease it out for 3 or 4 times the amount of money. I understand that the post office is a convenience to be next to town hall, but they are getting such a sweetheart deal, and for God's sakes, if we ever negotiate a new lease with the post office, they need to pay their fair share. They do in other towns when they have freestanding buildings, whether it's Casco or anywhere else. They've got such a sweetheart deal, and I drank the Kool-Aid, and I apologize for that.
Yeah, I have received a couple phone calls from post office management companies that negotiate the leases for the post office. And in those conversations, they have all said the same thing, that we could easily get 2 to 2.5 times what we are currently getting in their lease.
Yeah, I agree, yeah.
Any other comments?
The ball field restroom, so you took 25 last year?
Yes.
What do you have sitting in there now?
So what we have in there now is 25,000.
So you wanna go up to 50?
So I want to go up to 50, because the cost, I do not have an estimate yet on what it would cost and where the septic system would go. But as we are looking at the ball fields now as a possible location for a future recreation center, I will be able to use those funds to get that estimate. And we can apply those funds in the future if need be.
You think it's gonna go in with the next year or two? Or do you think this is something that could honestly be, can be less than or push until we have the money to do it?
It could be less than.
It could be less than, okay.
Now, keep in mind because this is capital improvements do not automatically roll over and accumulate year after year. It would have to be actually a special memo approved by the select board for carryover funds. So if we don't spend that 25,000 this year, then it would go into the general fund, and then we'd be back to 25,000 for next year's budget. So
Correct.
it wouldn't be cumulative. We wouldn't have $50,000 sitting in there. It would be at 25,000
Right.
again.
Right, yep.
Got it.
Any other questions? Okay.
All right, so the next line item is reserves. So in capital reserves, I'm asking for $415,000 this year. That's down $212,177 from the previous year. Paving and road repairs, it's up $10,000. I anticipate, I'll go to the next slide just to illustrate it. I anticipate about $400,000 in paving and about $60,000 in shouldering and ditching. It was asked last year, do we have a long-range plan for surveying and looking at the roads that need attention? A few months back, partnered with DOT, they had sundown a program which is called RSMS. And because of demand from communities, they've actually resurrected the program, and we've been able to adopt it. Very inexpensive compared to some of the commercial products. It was $195 for the software and the license, and that's a one-time fee. So we get unlimited access to it. It's not cloud-based. It resides on our computer. So we don't have to worry about annual subscriptions or anything like that. Tremendously user-friendly. As the maintenance director, who's also the deputy road commissioner, and I conduct our road surveys, we look at long line cracking, we look at shoulder cracking, any heaving, rutting, drainage, things like that. And as we assess those, it provides a value to the road condition. Whether or not the road condition is in a maintenance stage, or if it needs to be rehabilitated, or if it needs to be completely reconstructed. So looking at the roads that we have, our focus for this next year is to, on Chaplin's Mill Road, King Hill Road, Burnell Road, Lake House Road, and Thomas Point Road, is to provide a 1-inch overlay to those surfaces. We'll also look at Pearly Road. There was a small section when they did Pearly Road this year where, at the end of Pearly Road, where it turns into Chaplin Mill, there's some rutting there and some potholes that are coming up, so we'll look to remedy that this year as well. The shouldering and ditching, like I said, would come to about $60,000. And then there was one section of road that did not get done this year, which was the Flag Mill and Eads Fall Road. That's funded out of the multi-purpose bond that we took out a couple years ago. There's still funds left in that, and we'll be looking to tackle that this year as well. So this is what we're looking at for road work this next year.
How much money's in that fund, that multi-purpose fund?
So for the roads, it was just over $1 million for the roads, and we spent about 850 of that this year. So we still have enough to do that intersection.
Yep, so there's 150 left, okay, yep.
All right, so budget decreases, SCBA bottles, that went down 10,000, talking with the fire chief. The way we looked at this is we've got about, let me make sure I got the right number here. We've got 48,000 in there. So it's not just the bottles, it's the whole pack, and a pack is pretty expensive. You're looking at about 10 to 12 grand for the whole outfit. So that's the regulator, the mask, the harness system, the bracket which holds the bottle in the back. They're not getting any cheaper. But the way we looked at it is, okay, if we had a major event, a major fire event, and let's say 3 rigs got damaged, and we depleted this, we could come back to, we would look at the budget and look for areas in the budget to fund the replacement of those. And worst case, we could have a special town meeting, come back to the select board and ask for funds to replace those. But I don't see a need to carry more than 48 grand in that reserve account. The maintenance department vehicles, that went down by 24,377, and the fire and EMS vehicles brought that down by 122,800. Reason being is, speaking with Andrew Scoggenbank a couple of months back, they described to me their lease purchase program for municipal vehicles. It really comes down to a budgeting philosophy. You either save all the money, and through time value money, that money that you have in the bank loses value every year because the interest rate, or I shouldn't say interest rates, but the cost of living goes up. The dollar value is devalued every year. The minute we buy a piece of equipment, that equipment is worth half its value the minute you drive it off the lot. And that might be a little bit of an extreme number, but if you look at the fire trucks that we took out of service last year, we've been trying to sell those for a year and a half now, and the only bid we were able to get was $3,000 for a fire truck, and that was from a collector out of New Hampshire. Main reason being is other states aren't looking to buy a New England fire truck that's been exposed to salt and sand for 20 years. So they're very hard to offload, but going through a lease purchase plan, you can set the terms 7 years, 10 years, 15 years. My recommendation would be set the terms for 2 years shy of its projected service life. And take an ambulance, for example. It's gonna run us about $500,000 for an ambulance. Service life is generally 10 years or 100,000 miles. If we ran that out for 8 years, if we got a lease to purchase plan for 8 years, our annual payments for that are gonna be about 70 grand a year with interest. The interest rates right now for their loans are somewhere about 6.25%. But now we're having the bank shoulder the burden of the interest and the reduction in the value of the dollar every year, rather than saving that money and paying for it outright and now having something that's worth half its price the day we get it. So again, it's a budgeting thought. As I was looking for ways to bring down the overall municipal budget this year to account for the increases in the school budget, I thought this would be a way that we could accomplish that. The next item, compensated absences, that's down by 5,000. So what compensated absences does, if you have an employee that for whatever reason leaves the town, we have to pay out their vacation balance, and rather than have those funds coming out of payroll, which is already a set budget each year, and rather than overrunning payroll, we create this account so that we can pay out those vacation days that employees owed. The number that you see in your budget binder, it shows that balance at, where did I have it?
19,900.
19,966.
Yep. So it's a little less than that, as we've had some employees leaving over the last couple months. And so $10,000 that I'm requesting this year would allow us, that'd probably be a one-time catch-up to keep the balance at a point where we could manage the departure of employees, and I wouldn't be seeking anything more than that. I wouldn't be seeking anything next year.
Okay.
The next item is the cascade system. I know this was a hot topic last year. We got a quote on a Cascade system, or the Cascade system is that system which recharges the breathable air bottles for our firefighters. The quote we got was at $56,000, and we presently have $50,000 in that reserve account. So I'm asking for $10,000 this year, and the plan is to purchase it this summer. And then,
Hey, Jason,
yes.
that doesn't add up in my head. It says it's 65K to replace it, you got 50 and you're asking for 10, that's only 60, so you're 5K short.
Right, so we got three quotes. The first quote we got was 65K, but we got a quote from another provider, which was at 56K. So
Got
I
it.
apologize for the confusion there.
No, it's good, thanks.
Yep. And then maintenance department equipment, that is down by 35K. Again, same thing, using the budgeting philosophy of using a lease to purchase program for any major piece of equipment that have a projected long service life, 5-6 years. We don't need to put as much in reserves if we use that method of financing.
Any questions for Jason? Jim Turpin?
Yeah, I was basically just wondering what the current status is of our two ambulances. Are they both roadworthy?
They are. I've got one that's aging out next year.
Now, okay, and how many miles did we manage to put on it?
I cannot say off the top of my head, but it's approaching the 10-year mark next year.
Yeah,
So
right.
we're at that 10-year point, 10-year or 100,000 miles.
Yep, I'd heard one of them was in and out of service, and I was just wondering what current status was.
Yeah, the one that was in and out of service, so this has been an issue with the diesel emissions.
Right.
And whenever you have, Steve, what's the mode it goes into when you have an emissions issue?
Limp mode?
Limp mode. So you can't
Yeah.
you can't get up to speed with it.
Yep.
So it was in and out of the shop several times for that, but
Yep.
right now it's up and running.
And going forward, would we take another diesel, or?
Talking to the chief, he wants to get away from diesel and go to gas.
Yeah,
Sounds like
just
that's what a
curious.
lot of towns are doing.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Jim?
Hey, Mr. Chair.
Go ahead, Colin.
Hey, Jason, back to 10-0 boat replacement.
You kind of broke up there.
Oh, sorry, can you hear me now?
You're a lot clearer now. Go ahead.
Sorry. Marine safety boat replacement, looking to buy a new boat next year. Is that to replace the Polar?
That's to replace their, is that the Polar that's the center console? Yes.
They're both center console.
Yeah, so the Polar is I think it's almost at 20 years. And that's also another piece of equipment that we could purchase through the lease to purchase program. And with something like that at a 20-year life expectancy, we can go a little longer on the term, so the annual payments would be less.
Bob?
Is it,
Hang on, Jim. Go ahead, Colin, finish
Yeah,
up.
is it really in that bad a shape? I mean, we just stuck a new motor on it last year.
right.
Yeah, so it's not always just the motor. While that is the prime mover for the vessel, it's the hull integrity itself. We did have quite a few electrical problems this past year. We spent quite a bit on maintenance with it. So we'll look at how many more years we can get out of it. I don't think it's a next year purchase item, but it's definitely in the next 2 to 3 years.
Don't start driving over rocks. I'm just,
Says the
right.
landlubber.
You got a question now, Jim?
Yeah, well, I'm piggybacking on what Colin said. We asked the Warden Service a couple of years ago if they could give us a second person on the lake between Memorial Day and Labor Day. I think we should look into that and see if that's a possibility. Certainly a possibility this year. Too late. Planning for the following year. The deal that we get with the Warden Service to have that 40-hour work person is far cheaper than what we pay for Marine Patrol, and we need to look into that. It was never envisioned, like I've said several times. When I took office 6 years ago, the Marine Patrol budget was $12,000. And it has ballooned to well over $100,000. The requests every year come in. We got to get our arms around this. We have to get our arms around this because we can all sit here and justify a new boat, a new this, a new that, and easily 2-3 years from now, this budget's gonna be $200,000. So we get an incredible deal with the warden service for that extra warden. We ought to see if we can get a second one and see what that does to the budget.
So I will say a warden costs about $37,000, and that is, so if we added a second one, it would double our budget, for that warden service.
We only pay 10. We share it with Harrison, so we don't pay $37,000 for that.
I'll get you the exact number for the next meeting, but
Okay. Yeah.
we will also be able to have a chance to talk about this when we get to the marine safety budget.
No, I know. Yep.
Okay,
So, but you don't think that boat needs to be replaced next year?
no,
See if we can maximize, get at least a couple more years out of it, 2-3 more years.
And so if we decide to not do the boat, that 75,000 can be dropped, any of these numbers can be dropped into a general fund, right?
no, so these are reserves stay there, those carry over year to year, so it's your savings account.
Right, but if somewhere down the line, we're like, you know what, we're gonna not do 2 boats, I'm just throwing it out there, or we don't need that ambulance, we can take the money that's in there and put it towards something else, right?
Any one of the
Like
reserve dollar amounts could be
Once it's been
applied.
designated, yeah, once it's been designated to these parts, it doesn't have to stay there, so like,
No.
we could move it.
The select board has the ability to move those funds.
Okay,
No, whoa. No.
Yeah.
Once the voters appropriate money to a specific fund, to take that money out of that fund requires a town meeting vote. The select board can't take $400,000 out of paving and give it to the fire department.
So there is a provision that was in last year's warrant that allows the select board to reappropriate funds from one line item to another, so long as they do not drive that original appropriation into the negative. So if there were an emergency situation, this is a great example. Say we had an issue with the SCBA's, with the bottles. Say we had a catastrophe and we said, we lost 10 packs and we need another $50,000. We could look at the line items and say, hey, this boat, we don't need that for a couple of years. We talked about maybe doing a lease purchase program for it. I see this as the least risky location to draw those funds from. The select board could vote to reappropriate those funds to meet an emergent need.
okay.
Whoa. That was voted on last year at a town meeting to allow that to happen?
That was a warrant article item in last year's town meeting warrant. And that was after talking with the auditors, the finance team went, finance? I think finance team went to a class with the auditors, and they said most towns do include language that allows the select board to reappropriate funds, but you can't go into the negative. You can't drive the
So they
original
would
fund
have
into
to
a
deem
negative.
it, first of all, I don't think everyone at the town meeting understood that, number one, because I was there and that wasn't explained that way. But number two, the select board would have to deem it an emergency to allow that to happen. They can't simply wake up one day and say, you know what, we have $400,000 in the fire department. We've decided to start a public works department and we're gonna go buy a dump truck and a plow.
That is correct. They can't just willy-nilly
Okay.
move funds. It has to be done
Okay.
within a normal select board meeting. It has to be justified before they can move those funds.
Justified as an emergency.
I would not say an emergency. I said an emergent need.
Okay. That's new to me, but, all right.
Any other questions?
I got one.
Go ahead, Steve.
So if we go to a municipal lease, we'd have to, for me to back that, we'd have to have a policy to lock that in, because in 3 years, somebody else comes through the door and says, well, that's not a great option. We now have very little in our reserves, and a fire truck craps out, we have no money. And whoever it is at that time says, we're not leasing another one. What do you do then? You bond it out. So if we start backing all these reserves down, we're not gonna have much of a savings there. And then when you start saying, well, it's $70,000 a year, and you start adding lease upon lease upon lease, Well, that then goes to your debt services that you have to pay.
Yeah, and again, it's a budgeting philosophy.
It's how you want to do it. Yep. Any other comments? Okay. Move on.
All right.
Moving to TIF.
Yep. So now we're on to, so we're on to TIF. This year we're looking to spend, so now this is money to be spent out of the TIF fund. So it's down $240,098 from the previous year. The info center attendant salaries went up $210. That was to account for a 2.5% wage increase plus the 0.5% paid family medical leave. Causeway cleaning and mowing per contract, that went up $1,276. Summer law enforcement, I don't have their numbers yet, but I calculated in a modest increase of $2,400. I don't see it going over that from the previous year. Bands and concerts, increased that by $6,000. Reason for that is we are, with our events committee now, they are doing tremendous things here in the town. We are looking to attract more frequent concerts, perhaps for, not in a disparaging way to anyone that plays music, but higher quality bands for the residents and for those that come to Naples to enjoy the summer.
Nice disclaimer, that was awesome.
I can play one chord on the guitar, so I have no room to speak. And then parking and sidewalks. So I'm asking for $25,000 here. Reason being is I'm working right now with Maine DOT for a sidewalk project that would go from the Umbrella Factory all the way out to Legion Field. It's unnerving every time I drive down the 302 and I see people walking on the shoulder. This is an 80-20 grant, and that can be applied in two ways, one during the planning phase and the one during the construction phase. So if we get approved, I won't find out whether or not we were approved for the grant until later in January. But I'm assuming somewhere about, based on my conversation with them, about $115,000 in engineering costs. So that's why I've asked for the $25,000 to cover our 20% of that engineering.
I think that's
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Jim.
I think that's an excellent idea. I have been in favor of getting sidewalks down. You go to Gorham, you go to these other towns, they're putting sidewalks as far as they possibly can to bring the community together. If it's only going to cost us $25 grand for the engineering to figure out, what the next step's going to be, I think that's well worth the expense.
All right. Removed from the previous year was the eco.
Hang on
Oh,
one
go ahead.
second. Colin, you have a question?
Jason, do you find out at the end of January if the 80-20 split grant does both phases? Or do you find out if you get engineering first and then later on you get the second round?
If we get approved for the sidewalk, the entire project will be approved, but it will only be budgeted in two phases. So engineering first, and then we can decide when we want to install the actual sidewalk and what the cost will be. My target timeline is for the same time in 2027 when they plan to do the intersection light at 11 and 302. That way we can piggyback the engineering or the project management services from DOT to get that on-site work.
Hey, since you brought that up, I missed that meeting. Was that fruitful when you talked to, oh God, I'm going to forget his name, the guy from DOT about that intersection?
It was a good conversation. We did specifically talk about the boom light posts instead of a wooden post with cables. How it's definitely a want. They came back with a rough price. It's gonna be about $200,000 that the town will have to commit. And fortunately, because that is in the TIF district, that is something that we could fund out of TIF, and we wouldn't have to seek additional tax dollars as part of our annual budget.
Okay,
Sorry,
thank you.
Go ahead, Steve.
Sorry to ask the question, but, so you're saying instead of telephone poles and cables, it would mimic Route 35 intersection?
Yes, thank you for that clarification. It would look like Route 35 and
Just
302.
wanted to clarify, that's all. So,
All right,
No, we should do that. We should do that.
well, it
Agree.
definitely should not be telephone poles
No.
and cables.
No,
Right,
no,
right.
other expense the town's done.
Yeah.
The next one, boat launch and dredging, that went down 10,000. No additional funds for that. Village Green project, that was a one-year project. That project will be done here in the spring, so that's $125,000 not in there. And then Kent's Landing survey, that was a one-year project. Wright Pierce currently has that contract, and they're in the middle of that survey and assessment. So those will not be funds asked for this year. Decrease from the previous year, causeway maintenance and improvements, as well as the playground and basketball court. We had funds put aside this past year. The goal is here in the spring to address any cracks that are in it, and then we're also going to look to see about getting it, having the surface repainted. So no additional funds requested there.
Any questions for Jason on the TIF anymore?
Yeah, the causeway banners and holiday decorations.
Yep.
Why do we need another 10,000? Didn't we just replace all that?
So you'll notice we were missing 4 snowflakes this year. 4 posts did not have snowflakes. Those are about $1,200 a pop for each one of those snowflakes. They're not inexpensive. And then there's, we're not sure what the events committee is gonna wanna see for additional decorations. I thought this year was great, but every year we want to improve a little bit. So that's why I'm asking for those funds.
You were missing a bunch of flags too on the poles.
So that's the other thing is the banners, working with the maintenance team now and the events committee, the pluck, they've been deeply interested in getting banners put up on the posts that are there. In the past, they've come undersized or oversized. So this year we are determined to crack that nut and get some banners up there.
Yep.
The information center, that's in with the Naples Historical, right, the museum?
It's in the same building, yes.
So we're paying someone about $12,000 to sit for the information center, and then we're paying someone $5,000 to sit at the Historical Society?
Let's see here real quick.
Didn't it used to be one person?
That's what I thought, but they're requesting 4,600, which I believe involves everything that they need underneath Naples Historical Society.
Yep.
And then we have information center, wages, supplies, risk management for another, well, I guess they're asking for 10.
Yeah, so the info center, their request is $10,040.
Plus 700 for the Medicare expenses. So that's not the same person.
Management, Medicare expenses?
No, the information center and then the Naples Historical Society.
Yep, those are
It's
two-
not the same person. They're still
Correct,
the
two
same
different
place.
entities, yep.
It's all in the same place.
Right, but two different organizations, two different entities.
Do we know?
Has it always been that way? Bob, I thought we used to have one person that handled that building in the summer.
No, I think we had 2 because of the historical society, the historical society wasn't open all the time that the information center was, Jim. So
Yeah.
I know we moved it from one building into that building. We created the space in there to create the information center. But I'm pretty sure it was always 2 separate people.
Yep, and it did go down slightly. Previously, we had, they're no longer gonna be putting out the info center is no longer gonna be putting out their info book. That book, the publishing company that managed that, they would, the info center would seek, donations for people to advertise in it. And then the publishing company would look to recoup those funds. Fewer and fewer people were willing to participate in it, so it became cost prohibitive for the printer to continue to work on the project. So this year, we're going to a single, large postcard style format that will have a QR code on it where residents at the neighboring, visitor centers around Naples, if they grabbed one, they can scan the QR code and they will get a digital version of that, of the info center.
Do we have to have an information center?
They get a lot of traffic. Quite a few people do go through there in the summer months.
That was the question. Do we have to have one?
I think we should have both of those people come before us at a future meeting and explain what each role is and why that role can't be combined.
Plus the
That,
different,
yeah,
I think they're different hours too, Jim. I can check online, but I'm pretty sure they're definitely different hours with Historical Society when they're open versus the Information Center.
Yeah, but I would assume the information center would be open longer than the
Correct.
It
Historical
is, it's
Society,
open,
so they can just
it's
let
open
people in
Monday
and out.
through Friday,
right.
What, the Information Center?
Yep.
But not on the weekend,
not on the
when
weekend.
the larger amount of your
I don't think-
individuals come into town.
To be honest, I don't know, but I don't think the museum's open on the weekends.
Historical Society, let's find out.
Not 100% sure of that, but.
Right, anyways, I think we should just have a future meeting so we can fully understand that.
Okay,
Yep. I will invite them to a future meeting.
thank you.
Hey, Mr. Chair.
Go ahead, Colin.
Hey, Jason, under causeway mowing and cleaning, did that increase to include, Kent's Landing and or the Village Green, or is, maintenance guys taking care of Village Green?
Go ahead there.
Colin, that increase because they do Kent's Landing,
Fridays.
Village Green, and they do up by the fire station. They're on their second year of their 3-year contract, I believe.
Okay, I just wanna make sure, I knew we had,
Yep. Yep, that is the reason.
just to make sure.
Yep.
Okay. Busiest days and no one's open on weekends. Okay.
Keep that in mind.
What's that?
Keep that in mind.
I'm gonna, just made a note of that right there. Both of them are busiest days, weekends, and no one's open on weekend. I understand that. Okay, all right. Moving on.
There's another 15,000.
All right.
Yep.
So, this one's pretty straightforward. These are debt services, for next year, per the, amortization schedule. So TIF debt services are $345,337. General debt services are $49,662. I put the remaining outstanding debt at the bottom of each one of those columns. So our total outstanding debt for TIF is $2,818,527.72. And our general debt is at $247,129. I did include the maturity date or the retirement date of each one of those debts, as well as your interest rate, because I was looking at the possibility of retiring debt early. We're still getting between 4.4 and 4.7% investing our money, so we're better off to continue to invest our money than retire the debt, because the interest rate for the debt is less than what we're making in our investments.
Absolutely, yep.
Hey, Jason, are you got something I don't have, or is that in my book?
No, this is in the presentation I got up here in the room. So if, let's see here. Yeah, I think in your section, all you have is the printout. You don't have the,
You don't have this.
Yeah.
you don't have the, what we're looking at on the screen.
That's okay, I gotta.
I'll send it out after, I'll send it out tomorrow so you can see what we briefed.
Snippet shot. You can do a snippet shot at home,
Yeah.
Colin.
Can you see it?
I can't see.
Yeah, you can't see it.
No, I can't see
right?
it.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
what I thought. Hold on. Hold, please. Not you
We
guys.
should add another camera to the budget.
Well, I brought, Colin brings up a good point. I brought that up last week. Before, when there was a presentation at the select board and something's on the computer, the people at home could see everything on computer. And we don't see that anymore.
Yeah, now,
So he's right.
I don't know if you're on LRTV, I know the LRTV operator does zoom in on the screens when I have it up here, but you're not gonna see it on Zoom. And that is a technical misstep on my part. For the next meeting, I will, make sure that I've rehearsed how to share the screen so those that do join remotely can, see what I'm presenting.
Jason, is that in the budget somewhere to upgrade our video system, get away from the owl, and actually have standing cameras around the room?
No, the new cameras that go over Cat 5, that are powered over Cat 5, they are very expensive. We're on the, we're at the end of life on the cameras that we have here. But we do have in the building improvement, reserve fund, that is something I can quote out, and, the funds are already there that if we did, choose to upgrade them, we can.
Yeah, is that underneath like communication equipment? Isn't there like a decent chunk in there?
No, the communication equipment is specifically for radios.
Yep.
Okay. Okay.
All you have to do is buy the equipment that you need and then add 10 cents to every cable bill and you got it covered. That's the way it works.
So, I mean, above top, I apologize.
No, it's all good, Colin, you're good. Okay, moving on.
All right, that is our last item for tonight's budget committee meeting, was debt services.
Yep, all right. Any questions for Jason regarding the debt services? Okay, seeing none, if we can definitely get historical and information.
I will invite them to the next meeting. You want them at the next meeting?
I think it'd be best to get it, let's get this taken care of at the next meeting, please. Which will be next Wednesday, 22nd, 6 PM, same place. Right here in downtown Naples. Any other business to bring before the budget committee tonight? Seeing no other business, I entertain a motion for adjournment at 7:17.
A motion to adjourn.
Motion.
So moved.
Motion moved, seconded by, well, Steve made the motion, you seconded it, Jim?
Yeah,
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Jim and Colin?
aye.
Colin?
I'm an aye.
Thank you very
Colin's
much. Have a great night.